This episode is proudly sponsored by HASA, the trusted choice for liquid chlorine. It's better because it offers the highest purity, works instantly, and contains no added CYA. By the bottom feeder, professional-grade battery-powered swimming pool vacuum system, it sucks to clean pools, so cleaning pools sucks less. Get $100 off the bottom feeder with code DVB100. Skimmer, trusted by over 30,000 pool service professionals across North America. Skimmer software helps you save time, grow revenue, and boost your 5-star reviews. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your team, Skimmer's easy-to-use tools and expert support have you covered. Upgrade your business in 2025 with Skimmer. Try Skimmer for 30 days for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.
Hi, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to go over some effective ways to carry your gear and equipment back to your service stops. I'm going to cover everything that I've done over the years, and I'm going to cover some great tools and accessories that will help you carry everything back and make your day go a lot faster and easier on your body. Join my coaching program and take your pool service to the next level. Connect with other pool pros in your area, gain valuable knowledge, and transform your business with personalized one-on-one advice from me. With over 36 years of experience, I'm here to help you succeed like never before. Learn more at poolguycoaching.com. So I'll start with the very basic ways, and then I'm going to go to the more advanced ways of carrying everything back. This is something that a lot of people ask me over the years, is the best way to get equipment back to the service accounts. And you really want to do it in a way that's going to save on your body, because you're going to drain yourself just carrying things back. Plus, you're going to waste time going back and forth to your truck, especially if your truck is far from the pool. Or if you have to go back for anything, it's a real pain. And sometimes you get lazy a little bit and don't go back to your truck for something that you should have, because it's time consuming. And as the day goes on, if you're carrying everything back, in the first few examples I'm giving you, you're really going to wear yourself out. And it's something that's not as convenient as some more advanced ways of getting stuff back to the pool stops. So the first way, and this is something that's very elementary, and a lot of pool guys do this, and I see it all the time when I'm driving around. They'll have their pool pole, they'll have their net on their pole, they'll throw their Taylor test kit inside the net, they'll also put a pool brush in there, and maybe a towel brush, and then they'll walk back to the pool stop. So that's pretty basic. I've even seen some guys walk back like that with a manual vacuum head in their hand. Now, for sure, they have an automatic suction side cleaner at the account, and they're going to use the manual vacuum head with the cleaner hoses to vacuum out the pool. That's logical. But they really don't have anything else in their hand. Sometimes I'll see them walking back like this with a gallon of liquid chlorine or a gallon of acid in their hand. Very basic, not what I recommend to do, because you can't really get everything back to the stop. And it's something that is not really necessary when there's other ways of carrying everything back. The next one I've seen, I haven't done this myself too often. I have done it sometimes when I'm doing filter cleans, and the bucket comes in handy when I prime the pool pumps again after I clean the filter. But I've seen pool pros use a 5-gallon bucket with everything inside the bucket. And you can also get like one of those tool straps or one of the tool belts that go around the 5-gallon bucket at Home Depot. Mainly, they sell them for painters, but you can use it for all your small accessories. And I've seen pool pros use these 5-gallon buckets. You get them free at the pool shows. If American Leak Detector is there, they're giving out their 5-gallon buckets at every pool show. And it's something that is somewhat effective. You're holding the handle with everything in there. You have your pool pole in your other hand. And it's a fairly effective way to get everything back there. If you wanted to try that, you can definitely do that. Just get a 5-gallon bucket. And you may want to get that accessory tool belt that goes around the 5-gallon bucket. And you can put a lot of stuff in that bucket when you carry it back to the pool. Again, not what I consider highly effective, and I would not utilize this method. The first two methods, of course, is something that you can do, but it's not something that I would recommend when there's other better ways of carrying your stuff back. Now here's the next level up, and that's having some kind of tote. Now I've seen pool pros use like a house cleaner tote in one hand. This is kind of what the house cleaners use, and you can actually put full gallons of things in here and bottles in there. And then they have their pool pole and their leaf rake in their other hand. It's okay, but they're not really made for heavy outdoor use on the decks, and they're going to wear out pretty fast out there. I would recommend instead a tote that's made directly for the pool industry. Now there's 2 of them out there that are I highly recommend either of these 2. One is the T&K Pool Products Caddy Box. Not a very clever name. It's just called the Caddy Box, and that's by T&K Pool Products. It's TKCB is the product number or product name. So this is basically a blue tote. And if you watch my YouTube videos, you've seen me with this blue tote in a lot of the videos. It has a white handle. Some pool pros like taking out the white handle and putting their pool pole in there. I don't think that's necessary, but that's one hack that you can do. And you can, again, take out the white PVC pipe. Basically, that's what it is, and put your pool pole through there. But this is made with 3 compartments, and you can easily put 1 gallon of liquid chlorine in one compartment, 1 gallon of acid in the other. And by the way, this is a great way to carry your muriatic acid back to your stops without the potential of staining the pool customer's deck. If you just carry it back in your hand, you have a tendency to put it down on the deck, and there may be some residue on the acid bottle that will stain the deck. If you do carry it back without a tote, I suggest dipping it in the pool and then putting it on the deck. And if you do have to put the gallon of acid on the deck anywhere, I recommend putting it directly on the skimmer lid. Just a little side note, a little tip to prevent staining at your customers' accounts. But the TK Caddy, since you have a plastic bottom and it's like a self-contained compartment actually, you can put the acid in there and not really worry about any kind of staining potential from that gallon of acid inside the Caddy Box by T&K Products. I'm calling it the TK Caddy, but that's kind of what I refer to it as. There's another compartment directly in the center, same size as the other 2 outer compartments. I don't recommend putting your acid in the center compartment because it's unbalanced at that point. So if you have a gallon of liquid chlorine and a gallon of acid right next to each other in the TK Caddy, it's going to be kind of lopsided. So I would put the gallons on each side of it, and in the center you can put your test kit, you can put a stainless steel brush, you can put just about anything that fits in there and just fill that up with little tools and little things that you need at the stop. And then on top there's 2 holders still, one for your pool pole and leaf rake with the leaf rake attached to it, and another one for your pool brush or your manual vacuum head. So if you're going to manually vacuum that pool using the cleaner hoses or your own hose, you can put your vacuum head on one side of the white handle, put your pool pole on the other side. You can throw your pool brush in your net, and then you can get the vacuum hose and put it on your shoulder. You can use like a strap that you find on Amazon to kind of strap the hose, and you can kind of carry it in one hand if you wanted to, but I prefer carrying it on my shoulder. And here's another tip that I recommend. If you're going to manually vacuum a lot of pools, I recommend ordering a 40-foot hose. Most suppliers carry a 50-foot hose, pretty standard. But if you're vacuuming a lot of pools and you don't have a lot of large pools, maybe 15,000 gallons, maybe you have occasionally an 18,000 or 20,000 gallon pool, if the skimmer is in the center, you can generally vacuum that entire pool with a 40-foot pool hose. And that gives you a lighter hose to carry back there. And generally speaking, I never really use the whole 50 feet of pool hose. Sometimes the skimmer is on the shallow end and you have to vacuum all the way to the deep end. And even then, you're going about 30 feet. So you should have plenty of hose to vacuum most pools with a 40-foot hose. Of course, verify that on your pool route before you invest in a 40-foot hose, that it is long enough to vacuum all the pools. But it does make it a little bit easier to carry back on your shoulder when you have 10 less feet of hose to carry, basically. So I recommend the 40-foot hose, carrying it on your shoulder, and then, of course, you can have your tote in the other hand and walk back to the stops. It's not too bad. You still have some weight you're carrying back there, but the chances of you having to go back to your truck for anything are pretty slim because you have everything in the tote. The other tote that's very similar is the Valpak V50-204 Tool Caddy. Again, that's the Valpak V50-204 Tool Caddy. It looks very similar to the TK Caddy, or the Caddy Box as they call it, except it's kind of more robust. There's more compartments on the side. You could put other things on the sides of it, and it does have more ability to organize your tools. So both of these are great. I tend to get the TK Caddy because the supplier carries that one mainly, but your supplier may carry the Valpak version. Both are excellent, and these are a great way to carry just about everything back to your stop without having to go back to your truck and waste time going back and forth. Then we move into the next level, which are service carts. Now, there are two major manufacturers of service carts out there. There's T-Dula, that's been around for, I guess, 30 or 40 years, maybe even longer than that. My first service cart, I think, was back in the early 90s. And the service carts really are made to last pretty much forever on your service truck. There really is nothing to them except they're kind of like a welded, almost like a dolly basically. And so there's really nothing that's going to go wrong with them over time. Just the wheels sometimes will get wobbly. You have to replace the wheels on them. I've had that happen before. And then you have to get the hitch for your truck. So if you wanted to get a T-Dula one, you can go to tdula.com. Sometimes your supplier has them in the showroom. You could purchase them right there. But T-Dula is the original service cart manufacturer. They're right here in Orange County, California, and they have a nice service cart with a hose reel on it. It's pretty convenient to have the hose reel on the service cart, so check that out if you're looking for like a premium service cart. Now, if you just want a standard service cart, Advantage Manufacturing is a perfect place to get it, advantagemanufacturing.com. They have a service cart 2.0, which I really like. It's a blue service cart, and the 2.0 has these large plastic wheels, so you never have to worry about inflating them. They're almost like the wheels that you find on the vacuum system carts, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. But the service cart 2.0 by Advantage Manufacturing is fairly affordable. It sells for $5.99. Now, here's the catch. The thing that's unaffordable, but will last a very long time and is also something that's universal to their Portavac vacuum system, is the hitch for the service cart. This is going to set you back almost as much as the service cart. The retail price for the hitch is about $475. I believe T-Dula is similarly priced for their hitch. The hitch basically goes into your receiver with a tongue. You got to get the tongue for it, and then you put it in the receiver, and then you can attach the service cart to the back of your truck, so you can easily remove it and take it back to your stop without having to open the bed, pull the cart out. It's going to attach to the back of your truck. You've seen them all the time when you're driving around, these service carts in the back of these service trucks. But the hitch is an accessory that's usually a one-time purchase. They last pretty much forever, and you're going to need that to attach a service cart to the back of your truck. And I recommend either the Advantage Manufacturing 2.0 service cart or the T-Dula service cart, and both make the hitch that goes with the service cart. Now, Advantage Manufacturing does sell a bottom feeder service cart. It's basically the same as the service cart 2.0, but there's a metal rack built in that's perfectly designed to fit the bottom feeder cleaner right onto the rack in the cart. Now, this one retails for about $1,000, mainly because that part that's welded on costs more money to manufacture, and it takes more time to make the bottom feeder service cart. Therefore, the price is about $400 higher because of the added part that goes on there, and it takes more time to make it. But it's great if you have a bottom feeder and you want to carry the bottom feeder back and put everything in there. Now, the service carts are great because you can have your manual vacuum hose, your vacuum head. You can put a 4x1 case in the bottom, a HASA case that you have for chlorine or acid. Just empty it out, throw the bottles away, use that case in the bottom, and then you can put gallons of acid and chlorine back in the bottom. You can put just about any accessory down there. There's also brush holders on the side, and you can pretty much take everything back to your stop with the service cart using no physical or manual labor except pulling the cart or pushing the cart back to your service stop. There's a few houses where you can't get the cart back there. Maybe there's a house where you have 20 steps to walk down. Probably wouldn't recommend doing that with the service cart. But the majority of stops, you can just walk back there. I would say 90% of them with the service cart with everything on there. It's great when you do filter cleanings. You could put the bag of DE. You could take the hose off, put a bag of DE in there. You can actually put a bag of salt in there and carry it back. And it's a great way to get everything back to your stop without having to go back to your truck. You notice I keep saying that because that's the key aspect of getting everything back to your stop. You don't want to go back and forth to your truck. You waste time and energy. And if you can bring everything back in one shot, the service carts are a great way to do that. So I would recommend that if you're doing a lot of accounts and you want to increase your speed and efficiency, the next level up would be a service cart. You would still need the tote once in a while if you can't get the cart back there, but you can usually take the service cart back again to every pool. And then finally, the last level up is a vacuum system with a service cart where you can put everything in there. And I would say the premier one is the Riptide SL. The Riptide SL cart is great because you can take your vacuum system back to the stop, but it has trays and compartments, and it also has accessories you can add to it, a pole holder, bottle holders, a rack on the back to put all your little equipment and supplies and tools. So basically, the Riptide SL service cart, you can bring everything back to the stop, just like a two-doula cart. You wouldn't need the manual vacuum head or the hose because you're going to be using the vacuum system, and it's really a great way to bring everything back to your stop. Now, the retail price of the Riptide SL is over $1,800, so it is pricey, but it's an option if you wanted the vacuum system plus a cart to bring everything back to your stop. And if you wanted to connect maybe a hammerhead or Riptide to the back of your truck, and you wanted to have a pool service cart on the other end. Now, old school, we would take our trucks to a muffler shop, and then they would weld on a dual receiver to the back of the truck. But you don't need to do that because there's something called a T-bar mount. Both T-Doula and Advantage Manufacturing make this. The T-bar mount is a mount where you would stick it into the receiver in the center of your truck, and then the T-bar mount has two other receivers on each end of it, and there's no need to weld on receivers to your truck. You just put the T-bar mount into the existing receiver on the bottom. Now, if your truck doesn't have a receiver, you would want to get one installed. Now, U-Haul installs them, so that's a little tip there. Take it to U-Haul, and they'll put a Class 3 receiver on your truck, and some muffler shops, of course, will install the receivers as well. Most trucks, depending on the premium level you purchase them, will come with one built in because that's the same thing that's used to tow trailers and also tow an RV in some cases. And then once you have that, the T-bar mount on your truck, you can put a service cart on one receiver, put the vacuum system on the other, and it's a great way to carry both on your truck at the same time. So there are a lot of options out there, and I think you just want to start maybe looking at a TK Caddy or the Valpak tote, then go up to a service cart. And then if you want to get the full-size vacuum system, you can get that as well with a T-bar mount and put it on the back of your truck. And this is another way to carry everything back. It's really something that you would want to think about investing in, the service carts, because they really save the wear and tear on your body, and you can put a lot more stuff in there. And to me, I think that's the most convenient way to bring everything back to your service account. If you're looking for other podcasts I've recorded, you can find those on my website, swimmingpoollearning.com. On the banner, click on the podcast icon. There'll be a drop-down menu of over 1,600 podcasts for you there. And if you're interested in the coaching program that I offer, you can learn more at poolguidecoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. This episode is brought to you by HASA, providing products that deliver clean, healthy water for every aspect of everyday life. The bottom feeder battery-powered vacuum system, portable, powerful, and only weighs 12 pounds. And Skimmer. Get Skimmer, America's #1 pool service software. Podcast listeners can try Skimmer for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.